This is Newcapnews with Lauren Poland.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. The town of St. Paul is making a multi-million-dollar donation to complete funding for its new wellness center. As Clayton Brown explains, the recent provincial election changed the funding approach.
$2 million. That's the amount needed to cover the total cost of the new wellness center. It was expected more funding from the province would come, but town officials say the provincial election changed everything.
So everything that we did before with ministers and people in these other portfolios has changed dramatically. So the chance of getting any funding from the provincial government right now, when they already contributed, is going to be very hard.
The additional $2 million brings the town's total investment up to $3 million, tripling its original contribution. But Andersen says they were prepared.
You got to keep in mind that this is a 5-year, been in the works for 5 years. So we had time to plan their scenario and make sure that we had the funding in place if the worst case scenario did happen.
The county originally had put forth $1 million towards the new centre, and they say they're standing firm at that figure and won't be helping out with the project financially any further.
The Wellness Centre project is a project that we believe in, but we believe it should be subject to third-party management rather than in-house management, and I think at the end of the day that was where the council drew the line.
Although the town is significantly increasing its investment, Andersen says the $2 million won't affect taxes.
The funding for the wellness center is not a result of more tax increases, and everything that we have allocated already.
The center is expected to be completed in August. In St. Paul, Clayton Brown, Newcapnews.
For the past 7 years, the Concerned Citizens for Seniors group has been working to improve the quality of care for the elderly in the border city, including wanting the Prairie North Health Region to reconsider tearing down 2 of the wings at the Dr. Cook Care Facility. But their recent progress has been touch and go. Kelsey Bloxham has the latest.
In early March, a stop work order was put in place, essentially stalling the demolition of the south and central wings at the Dr. Cook Extended Care Facility. A welcome relief for the group, which has met on a weekly basis for a number of years. But then the election was called in Alberta, and the progress made was put on hold.
In some ways, the election was a good thing because it allowed us to put this on the front burner. So actually, perhaps the election helped us as much as it hindered us. As much as it stalled things, it also stalled the demolition of the Dr. Cook.
They are now waiting for newly elected MLA Richard Starkey to get his feet wet and get things rolling once again.
We've also got a new Minister of Infrastructure, so we're also waiting to hear from the Department of Infrastructure. But we do know that Dr. Starkey is pursuing this and has been talking to the new Minister of Infrastructure. So we think the groundwork is being laid. We will know a lot more in the next week or two.
Well, in my eyes, it's a high priority. As far as the rest of the government and the ministry, we're going to work to try to make it as high up on their list as we possibly can make it as well. We're going to have the infrastructure minister, Mr. Drysdale. I've already spoken with him about the building, told him what the history is, and urged him to, or encouraged him to come out.
And while they wait, Sellers says they want to spread awareness, having created a new brochure to help residents get informed, outlining some of their suggestions for the building.
There's a great need for all kinds of services in Lloydminster. We've got a facility there. Let's renovate it. Let's make it functional. Let's look to the future.
He adds often people don't know about the needs for more beds in Lloydminster until they are directly affected. Kelsey Bloxham, Newcapnews.
There will soon be some fresh faces representing the rural municipality of Britannia. The RM is holding a by-election for its Reeve and a councillor position.
We have 2 candidates running for Reeve, Mr. John Light and Mr. Tony Patton. And we have 2 candidates running for Councillor Division Number 1, Fred Castendick and Ed Noble.
Voting takes place June 6th between 9 a.m. and 8 p.m. There are 2 polling stations, one at the municipal office in Lloydminster and a second at the Britannia Memorial Hall in Hillmont. Information about all the candidates is being mailed out to all eligible voters. The Border City's Farmers Market celebrated its 37th anniversary today. Bart Padiasic tells us how the festivities went.
The cake was cut for a special celebration at the Border City Farmers Market. Jean and Mike Lutzak have been vendors at the market for the entire time, and they got a lot more than just clients out of their time here.
Oh, it's wonderful. You see all the people here today. You make friends. And for many years I've had all my clients, and for 37 years I've gained a lot of clients and wonderful friends.
Anne Campbell is an author and former teacher. She wrote and self-published a children's book based around her father's teddy bear. To her, selling her book at the farmer's market is vital to her profit.
The people selling here make more profit because we don't have to pay the high overhead in a store. Stores want usually at least half of your price, so it doesn't leave much for you.
While more money is nice for vendors, the focus has always been on promoting local producers.
Well, you know, what we're doing is we're promoting small business and people selling their products that they make themselves, or some small businesses as well, and so that people can work out of their home at their leisure.
The market celebrated with giveaway draws and prizes donated from vendors. The Border City Farmers Market happens every Thursday at the Service Center. Bart Padiasic, Newcapnews.
Well, Gerard, it was sure a welcome break from all the showers today.
All the rain, yes, certainly. It cooled things off, and maybe that high pressure and stuff has cooled us off maybe a bit too much, because since about mid-afternoon, the entire area has been under frost warning on the overnights. Yeah, and the wind has picked on back up again, coming out of the north, gusting at times up to about 35 kilometers. So let's have a look at it here. All right, under the frost warning, we are 14, sitting at today's high, and a UV reading of 2, so it's low, but a mix of sun and cloud. Generally look pretty on the outside today, but that frost warning is right across the area, so you want to protect your plants, protect the seedlings if you can on the overnights. We've got some more details coming up a little later in the cast.
Coming up, a $30,000 collection now on display. All the details next.